Okay, it's nice. Now we got the overview and also the background of the coin. So the user can read everything about that coin. So let's see this one. And also every coin has its own background and also own overview. But as you see here, there are some links like HTML links. We need to render them as a links. It's not nice if the user see those links in this like in HTML code. So for that we are going to use a library which is called React Native HTML render. So we can use this library as you see here. So let me zoom in a little bit. So this library actually is doing for you that job. So it's importing for you a component where you can be able to pass any HTML code and it's going to render it as you see here. So you can also make an application which is rendering your website using this library. So you don't have to build, how to say, like a native application for your website. If your website is responsive, then you can have a web view, and this web view is going to show your website as HTML in a native application. So for that, I am going to make installation for this library. So we will go to the like terminal here, and I will paste that npm install React Native render HTML, and then we are going to use or import the component which is coming from this library, and we will see that in the documentation. So first of all, you need to import render HTML from React Native HTML render. So I will go here to the top. After my imports of React Native component, I will import that component which is called render HTML. Okay, as well, you will see that he is defining something called source, like constant called source, and this source is an object. First parameter is called HTML, and then he design or assign the HTML code inside. So in that way, we are going to use that component in this way. So let's copy this part and then go again to our code. So here, instead of having like all of this line and all of this stuff, we are going to use the render HTML, and also for this one here. So the data actually, or the source data, it will be an object as we saw, and this object, so you need to make an object, and this object inside it there is HTML component. So this doesn't mean that it's object, but it means that I'm going to type JavaScript inside. So JavaScript code is an object as you see here. So for that, in that way, this value for me is HTML code, so I can use it directly. So I will say here, use for me this crypto profile and profile.general, all of this information to be as a source HTML for this render HTML component. So in this way, I will be able to see the code as HTML. So also we are going to do the same for the second one, where we have like the crypto profile details or background details. So let's remove all of this text. We copied the path, and I will say here, okay, I have object HTML as well, and then this object HTML will have the background detail. The same thing, I am going to delete this part here because we don't need it anymore. And now there is something which is called width, like the property which is called content width. Let's delete it for now. We are going to add it later. So let's have this one here as well deleted. So we have only the source property. Okay, let's go to our application and try to reload here. Okay, we have Bitcoin. Okay, nice. We have, okay, some HTML is rendered, but as you see, the text is in black, so we cannot see it. So somehow we need to give an how to say, color for that text. But you cannot have that, like this render HTML doesn't have style property. So for that, we need to style the HTML which is rendered here. So as you see in the example of the documentation, we have like P paragraph, he gave a style, inline style, like you are writing HTML inside the React Native. So for that, I am going to do the same. So I will place as well something like this. So we will say like backtick, like as you see here. So the backtick so for that, I am going to do something the same in our code. So first of all, we are going to surround this HTML with paragraph, let's say. So I am going to have here like some, let's say put everything in a string. So I will use a backtick. And of course, this will be a variable rendered inside this string. So I will have here like, okay, this variable, but before it, I am going to write HTML code. So I will say like paragraph, and then I will give to this paragraph some style, and this style will be color, and then I will put like hash FFF, like the white color. And then we are going to close this one or this tag, and we don't forget to close it at the end. So here I will say as well /p. So all the text will be, or all this text which we are getting from the back end will be inside paragraph, and everything inside this paragraph will have a white color. Okay, let's save and try that to see if we are really having that color. Okay, now we have like some error because I didn't close the backtick here. Okay, as you see, we got the right color. We have white color for the overview and also with links, which is like before was like href, it's like HTML code, but now it's rendered as HTML. The same thing I am going to do for the HTML tag here. So we are going as well, let's copy all of this part. So I will say here, all of this part, give it to me. I will place it as well here after the crypto, and then I will say like after the background detail, close the variable, and then close the backtick, but we don't forget to close the p as well. So we will put here closing p. Okay, we save. Okay, we have now also this background text will be in white. So as you see here, we were able to render all our application or all render HTML with the white color and also as HTML from the information which we got. Okay, now going back to the documentation, there is some property which is called content width. And with this property, as you see, like you will get warning if you don't pass it to your application. Okay, I'm going to save, and as you see here, I have you should pass content width property. So for that, I am going to pass this property. First of all, we need to import something from React Native which is called use window dimensions. This is very great way to have like calculation of the current device which you are using and make your application to be a responsive application on different, like to say, mobile devices. So we are going to have that as well. So I will say here like import for me the window dimension. Okay, so we are having it from React Native, so I will put it here, and then we are going to import some constant, and this constant, or use some constant which is called width. So in this width, which coming from use window dimensions, I can use it as input for this property content width. So let's go back again to our code, and it's very important to not define it out of the screen. No, you have to define it inside the screen after the screen is getting rendered. So this width, we are going to use it as a property of like let's say the use windows dimension. So I will go here and I will say render HTML has property and also this property as well. So let's check our application. Okay, now we don't have the warning anymore. So for that, we are ready with our application. Except this error, I am going to show you how to fix it in the next lecture.